Hello, and welcome to the Telescope Show. We laugh, we discover God, and we totally nerd out. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for listening. My name is Matthew Seipel-Anderson. With me is Katie Seipel-Anderson. And Katie, did you know that if you have $40,000, you could get our pet cloned?
I did not know that. Cloning pets. That's kind of a sci-fi thing.
Oh, yeah.
Clones? So we could have a whole bunch of Lucys running around?
Oh, yeah.
What would happen with a pack?
I don't know. I don't even want to think about it.
A whole bunch of yourself running around? Or
What's even more scary is if you have 25,000, and I said dollars earlier, I should have said euros because the article came from over across the pond. But anyway, approximately $25,000, a little more in the U.S., you could have a clone cat. And an army of clone cats, to me, is even more scary than an army of clone dogs.
I think I would agree with that.
Well, in other news, we've got Doctor Strange coming out on May 6th, Thor Love and Thunder July 8th, Black Panther. We've talked about all those, but there are a bunch of shows coming out that I really didn't... I maybe had heard about them, but they had kind of fallen off my radar. So did you know that there's a show called Miss Marvel coming out on June 8th about a teen who gets powers like her hero Captain Marvel?
I had not heard that at all.
Yeah, so that's coming out. Also,
that's coming out soon.
Yeah, and there's another one, She-Hulk, coming out in June.
She-Hulk?
She-Hulk. And the premise is Bruce Banner's cousin gains Hulk-like powers after receiving a blood transfusion from him.
Why would he do a blood transfusion? That's the big question.
I
want to watch it now just to see the scenario where he does a blood transfusion.
What possible scenario could be set up to make that happen? Another one that's coming out, I believe this year, is called Secret Invasion. Nick Fury and Talos from the Captain Marvel. He's the green guy who shapeshifts. They are teaming up to stop a renegade group of shape-shifting Skrulls that has invaded Earth. And finally, coming out again, 2022 is just like packed with stuff. Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Exactly. Exactly. That says it all right there. And this is a one-off show, and the title pokes fun at an infamously horrible Star Wars holiday special that aired back in November of 1978. So that should be a lot of fun.
That should be fun. Isn't there a Black Panther one coming out too?
Yeah, Black Panther, but that's a feature film. Wakanda Forever. That's dropping in November 11th.
Okay, so the other ones are all... Isn't Doctor Strange a feature film too?
Yeah. So
and then the rest of them are just shows?
So we've got Doctor Strange, Thor, and Black Panther being films in the theater, and the rest of them are Disney Plus short-run little shows.
Okay.
So lots of great content coming up, and... super fun.
Just in time for the lovely weather.
Right. Yeah, everyone get outside and have fun. But bring your phone.
Outdoor airings or something like that.
We'll be all sitting on the beach with our tablets.
Doesn't create a really lovely picture, I don't think.
It doesn't. Don't do that. Well, let's talk about Moon Knight.
Okay.
Katie, you had kind of a... interesting reaction to Moon Knight. What was just your initial gut reaction to Moon Knight?
I don't think that I would watch it again. I will watch the other episodes just because I have to know what happens. But the beginning scene of Moon Knight I did not really like it. I kind of wanted just to be like, is this how it's gonna be? Because I might just be done watching this.
Yes, this show definitely has a different vibe, and they're definitely dipping more into the horror genre with some of the things they do, and just making...
glass shards in your shoes and walking on it, I just, it got me.
It got under your skin.
Got under my skin.
It did do a great job of making the villain instantly creepy.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So if you're unfamiliar with Moon Knight, or you want to know a basic little synopsis of it, here goes. Stephen Grant and mercenary Mark Spector investigate the mysteries of the ancient Egyptian gods from inside the same body. Kind of a weird concept.
That is a weird concept.
Yeah.
And the show so far has been kind of weird. I have to say I was right, because they did kind of just drop you in the middle of a scenario where you're like, what is going on?
Yeah, it had that chaotic feel that you thought... You saw it in the trailers, and you were like, I bet that's how the whole show's going to be. And you were right.
Well, so far the first episode has been like that. Just lots of questions, more questions than answers, I think. And as the show kind of went on, you're like, what is going on? Suddenly this voice starts talking and you're like, what? I don't know.
Yeah, so in earlier Marvel things, we got a lot of the Nordic mythology, like gods like Thor and Loki and those kind of things. And now we're dipping into Egyptian stuff, Egyptian mythology. So Mark is the avatar of the Egyptian god Khonshu, who was working to foil the plot of a guy named Arthur Harrow, Arthur Harrow, who's the guy who put glass in his shoes.
Ugh.
Arthur he's a cult leader who harnesses the powers of the Egyptian god Ammit. They have this evil plan to bring this Egyptian god back into the world, and she will judge people for their future sins and devour their souls.
Wasn't there some movie that was based on science that like judged people for their future actions that they thought they were going to commit? Well, Tom Cruise is in it, isn't it? What movie is that?
Minority Report.
Oh, that's right. It kind of reminds me of that, except that comes at it from like a scientific point of view as opposed to like a spiritual point of view.
Yeah, you're right. The sci-fi world definitely explores both science and spirituality in different ways. And Moon Knight's, of course, more on the spirituality end. But, we heard a speaker recently who said that there are many ways to spirituality, but there's only one way to God. And I was thinking about that statement, and I was thinking, we love finding answers when it comes to science and finding certainty and finding data. But what about the quest for God? Sometimes we can maybe people prefer a nebulous spirituality, but what if spirituality is more like the scientific side of things, where there is one way, there is a way that God actually is, and we can discover it through Jesus?
But I think it could be both and. So there is that strong one way, not chaotic, but more real. But then also the spiritual end of it, like God as a personal God, he connects personally with us and has power operating in this earth. I think that God has both.
Yeah. I see where you're going. I guess I would agree with that. There is a spiritual experience, in Christianity. You've got the theological side where we try to understand God, and we have the Word of God, and we can learn about God. And there's the way to God, which is Jesus. But then there's also just a spiritual experience and a personal working. The Holy Spirit works with people in different ways. They have different experiences. God does different things for different people. And it's kind of mysterious, actually. So there is both.
Both and. Our God is awesome.
So good. Well, Moon Knight was interesting. And when it comes to predicting the future of the show, honestly, I really have no idea. And I don't think we want to make a prediction at this point. Do you feel good about that?
Yes, because it's just really out there.
You mentioned some things that you didn't like about the show. You're not as much of a fan of the horror vibe.
No.
And some of the gross, like the glass in the shoes and stuff. That is kind of gross.
And also kind of the venomy feel of it, where it's like this strong, like, what's going on kind of voice. I don't really like that. And then the guy in it kind of seems so frazzled and...
Yeah, so that's an aspect of the show I actually liked. Not necessarily the voice of Khonshu. I could take it or leave it. I loved Oscar Isaac's performance, and I loved just the craziness of the character.
So he's a good actor. I think he's doing a good job acting in this show, at least that first episode. Maybe I just personally feel bad. Even though it's not a real character and not a real thing, I think I just personally feel bad watching him, and it's a little cringy when I watch it.
It is a little cringy. You just want to give him a hug, tell him it's going to be okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Well, I have heard that Moon Knight is slated to be around the MCU for the next decade or so.
What?
That they're going to take him and move him into the films and continue to use him and maybe crossover things. Maybe not like as a main movie, but he'll be around and be a part of the goings-on of the MCU. Come on, Oscar Isaac is a boss. You've got to keep him around. You can't just kill him off after 6 little episodes.
It just 10 years seems like a very long time.
It's like a commitment.
Yeah, that's a big commitment.
Like we're walking down the aisle with Moon Knight.
And in 10 years, people do age.
It's true. It's true. He's got those mummy wraps.
Okay.
Hide his wrinkles and stuff. This actually reminded me of an old favorite youth group game that we used to do as students all the time. You have a time limit, and then everyone has rolls of toilet paper, and they have to try to make someone look like a mummy. Remember that?
And then they have to run.
They have to do like a run, like a relay
race or
race.
something. Yeah, I remember doing those.
Yeah, or just who can make the best mummy, and then we just decide.
Fun fact, sometimes you do that at bridal showers, but not mummies. Instead, you do like wedding dresses.
Mummies are totally cooler. Well, the next time we watch Moon Knight, just imagine that he's wearing a wedding dress, and it might make you like the show more.
I don't think so.
Well,
I think that will help.
I think this is a good place to sign off. We look forward to more Moon Knight episodes. There are a lot of intriguing spiritual things we can talk about that I think this show is going to bring out. So it's going to be a lot of fun looking into it, thinking about it. And I will look forward to talking to you later. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Hey, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. That's really helpful. And if you're in the Milwaukee area, I will be at the Milwaukee Comic Con April 9th, this Saturday. So come on out and say hello.
And we have not forgotten about the other shows that are going on with Star Trek and Halo and stuff. So there'll be more to come on those as well.
More great episodes to come. All right. Love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.